Yeah, please. First, before I start, I want to mute their mics. Please, so we can have a good sound. Please help us to do that. Well, you are all welcome to this Black History Month celebration. And in behalf of International Convention of Africans in Diaspora and the convener of this program, we welcome everyone on this program themed Black History Month. Everyone, if you are here with me, say hi, hi.
Hi, hi.
Yeah. Okay, you are welcome. In Ghana, it's good afternoon. Yeah. Well, you are welcome once again to Icad Black History Month. And we bring you a special, this special event, Black History Month. And join us to honor and contribute to everything, every section. And also try to put down your questions and answer you. At Icad, we are passionate about fostering connections and driving growth within the African diaspora. Our platform is to design to empower leaders, entrepreneurs, and policymakers to create sustainable impact. Therefore, join us as we strive to foster collaboration, innovation, investment between Africa and its diaspora, promoting sustainable development and empowerment. Are you here with me? And we want you to gear up for enriching and experiencing Icad Black History Month. Explore our upcoming events, which I'm going to mention to you right now, including our online forum in March 2026 after this program. And in June, we're going to have our business forum program. That one will not be online, to be a physical program. Then the Grand Style is coming on the 18th to 20th December 2026. And we welcome everyone that will come to join us. Thank you very much for coming once again. We're going to take a prayer, then we start. Let's pray, please. We are praying, please. I'm hearing some noise. Please cope with us and mute your mic. Let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you. We give you all the glory. We bless your holy name. We thank you for creating us, making us your children. Father, we pray that we thank you also that you have made this day you have made this day reality in our lives. We pray that this program, you take absolute control. Lead us, teach us, grant us understanding. Lord, we pray that, Lord, at the end, Lord, your peace, unity, love will be our portion. We thank you. We give you all the glory. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Once again, thank you, you have to be quiet and listen to our advert.
Convention of Africans in Diaspora, Icad, reconnect to my roots, my hope. Icad is a divine mandate given to our convener by God to bring the African diasporans to their roots. Our vision is bringing Africans together in diaspora for economic, social, and spiritual empowerment. Our mission is mobilizing all Africans in the diaspora with resolution. For Africa. Icad is a premium platform connecting African diaspora leaders, entrepreneurs, and policymakers driving Africa's growth. We encourage African Americans and Africans in diaspora to reconnect with their roots and engage in development in International Convention of Africans in Diaspora, Icad, reconnect to my roots, my hope. Icad is a divine mandate given to our convener by God to bring the African diasporans to their roots.
Thank you for coming. I want to tell all the listeners that we have great speakers on this program. And we are not going to waste time. We'll go straight ahead to the speakers. And we are fortunate and blessed to have a wonderful woman who is going to give us the first speech here. She's a Queen Mother in Ghana, Volta region precisely. And she's Dunenyo the First, Volta region, Keta district, a village of Achiavi, Glimmer. Yeah, and she's from Alabama, and she's in the person of Professor Dr. Ella Dashanaba. Please, our Queen Mother, if you're on the line, please, we are ready to listen to you, and you are welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. First of all, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life, then giving honor to our ancestors who knew that this day would surely come. Now, as I sit here marking the 100th anniversary of the first Black History Week, which actually occurred in 1926 and focuses on the impact and the necessity and the evolution of celebrating Black history, Black history's identity and its contribution over the past 100 years, I want to say that Queen Mother is very grateful. It is a time to reflect on how these commemorations have shaped the national pride and national history and advanced our equality despite for us some of the ongoing efforts to marginalize Black history. In this case today, we're actually talking about international narratives, and I am honored and thank the panelists, Ambassador Ansa. I'm not sure who else is on the panel today, but I thank him for being here.
Can I X out that floating reactions on the screen?
Can we what, ma'am?
Okay, okay.
I am also honored and thank the panelists who are here today for being a part of this dialogue. And I'm actually humbled to be a part of the International Convention for Africans in the Diaspora. They're the ones who pulled this state-of-the-art event together for today, and I am in awe of them. I would like to say that Icad is a premier platform for connecting African diaspora leaders, entrepreneurs, and policymakers who are thriving for Africa's growth. I am very happy to be a part of this, and at the same time, we encourage Africans and Africans in the diaspora to reconnect with their roots and engage with Icad in development of all of these initiatives that we'll be hearing about. My mission with you here today is to talk about how we, as diasporans, historical diasporans, actually connect to the continent. Okay, so that's part of what our presentation today is about. So now, if in the past, I'm sure that some of you know the history of, let's say, African Americans, and you know that we wound up being in the Americas not by choice, but really by force or being stolen away. So if the past was built on a forced journey, and in fact it was, what should the future look like when we have an intentional journey where every conversation with a continental African or a historic descendant of the transatlantic slave trade becomes a doorway to shared enterprise? Now, before I go further, let me just explain for those of you who may or may not understand the terminology. The words continental African in today's world is referred to the Africans who actually live, who was born, bred, and live on the continent. When we refer to the word diasporans, that's any people of African descent who have dispersed from Africa and they are now in various parts of the world. We refer to ourselves in terms of the African Americans as historical diasporans. And I think it's important for us to take a moment and make that distinction for us, because there's many people dispersed for many reasons. Many are dispersed for educational reasons. They are dispersed for economic reasons, or they came by choice. Ours was not by choice. So since we're all now being grouped together as diasporans, I want to make very clear that we're considered historical diasporans. So what would be some of the pathways that we could be on today that would lead us towards connecting with Africa? One of the practical pathways for us would be an educational exchange. And you've seen many of these that are already occurring through universities, through high schools, through missions, educational exchange. I strongly suggest that we continue to be involved with those. Another mechanism for a practical pathway for connecting would be joint ventures. Joint ventures that could be in agriculture, that could be in technology, joint ventures that could be in mentorships, or any other type of pipelines and policy-friendly MOUs. What could a policy-friendly MOU look like? It could be like making an agreement for a year to decide something you want to do and work on, and to chronologize and follow exactly what you're doing to make sure that you're reaching the goals that you've set for yourself. Now, when I talk about mechanisms for pathways for connection, I'm talking about things that we can do on the ground, which translate into very meaningful engagements. Engagements very similar to like what we're doing right here today. Some cultural exchanges could actually turn into venture business. How about a young rapper here, a continental African, here, let's say even in Ghana, who gets the opportunity to hook up with another young person in Jamaica. And that Jamaican is a rapper. And the two of them together decide to work on doing something in music. That is what we would consider to be a cultural exchange. But then what about those who actually get involved with, and many of you have probably done as well? It's very possible that we can forge these connections through business, through culture, through education. We can also hook onto these pathways through trust into policy-friendly channels. And by that, I mean emphasizing many of the diplomatic channels that have to be forced by having grassroots connections, by having mentorships, by having shared initiatives in education, also technology and entrepreneurship, okay? So those are some of the ways that we can begin to connect through these various crossways. Another engagement would be linked with investment funds. There is very much that we can invest into in the continent of Africa, and we're going to talk right now about a place called Ghana. When I go out into the marketplace, I see so many examples of things that we could connect with, the things that we could do, or products that I don't see here that we may choose to bring in by way of import-export. And by the way, if you decided to engage in bringing in a product, then there's all sorts of initiatives on the board to help you when it comes to dealing with imports and exports. In fact, President Obama put in place a wonderful program for trading, which bypasses some of the policies on the books that deal with importing and exporting. Okay. Another concrete way that we can involve ourselves is through having programs and various types of pilot programs. For example, in the month of January this year, we did a soap making workshop in my village in the Volta region. And now here we are, not even out of the month there to say, we're just a month later in February, and I have a couple of people in the village who are saying to me, Mama, we want to start a business of soap making in the village. So I'm very glad to hear this. At the same time, we'll have to spend time teaching them about how to actually be in business and how to actually run a business and what running a business is all about. Okay. There are different types of measurable metrics that we can use to see if things that we're doing are making sense or if they actually are connecting. Another way that we can engage is what I'm calling online diplomacy. That's like people to people collaborating. How do people to people collaborate? You can collaborate in writing papers. You can collaborate in having conversations again today. You can collaborate in business. You can collaborate in song, in dance. You can collaborate in ministry. There are so many ways that we can collaborate today. And so I'm inviting you to take a look at some of those. And what I'm giving you is what I call practical methods of collaborating. Now, on another level, since people like to do things that are very social or social media oriented, let's just talk about some of the places in Ghana where you can go to, where you would actually be able to find African Americans and where you're able to find diasporans. Dr. Du Bois, when you go to, every time I go to the center, I run into someone I've not known, whether they be African American or from Brazil, or whether they're here from Jamaica or wherever they may be from. I'm always running into diasporans who I am finding at the cultural center. I've also gone to on Sundays where they have brunches. Most of the hotels in and other areas have brunches on Sunday. There you will also find a lot of the people, the diasporans may be. You can find yourself going to different churches of different faiths. There you will also find diasporans, continental Africans that you can get to meet and pair up with. Okay. We spoke a little bit about investing in what we're calling investment clubs. You will find various organizations in Ghana, as well as diaspora organizations where you may be able to become involved in an investment club. There's also economic pathways, trade corridors. We can do skills transfer. Mr. Chairman, were you speaking to me?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, were you speaking to me?
Yes. Please, I'm not cutting you, but I think some people are putting down questions. How far you have come? So
Okay, I haven't.
so
Let me go in. Let me go to the chat and see what I can see for
No,
questions.
summarize it and then we'll ask you the question.
Okay, right now I'm in the chat and I'm looking for messages. I'm not seeing anyone.
Okay.
I don't see any chats. Do you see some?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not seeing any chats either.
So what we were doing is that we wanted you to finish your presentation so that we can open up for questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, let me just take a moment and close out the presentation.
exactly.
So what we're saying is ways that we can connect is having people to people, not in your house and his house, but going out and mingling and being with people, whether it's in a business setting, a social setting, a religious setting, or just at the park. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Listening
It's
all the
open for
people
questions.
on the platform. Madam, our Queen Mother is ready to answer questions. So please put up your questions right now. And so that we can, she can answer you before she leaves.
Okay, I would like to ask a question. My name is Franco Sesiama, and the question I would like to ask the Queen Mother is that how best can the African diasporans and the continental Africans unite to develop Africa?
Thank you for the question. As we have covered in our presentation, you can't get to meet them in your house. You've got to go out into the marketplace and places where you will find them. Where do you find them? You find them in church, you find them in restaurants, you find them in social events. You have to get out of the house and go out where the people are. And once you find them, strike up a conversation. That is one of the most easy ways to begin hooking into Africans, historical Africans. Go out and meet them. And you find that they are very social people.
Okay.
Thank you. Can you see yourself doing that, sir?
Hello? Any more questions?
Can you see?
Any more questions, please? Hello, madam.
Yes, sir.
Please, can I ask this question? I know a lot of African Americans are in Africa. How are you uniting? I mean, how are you together?
Thank you for the question. Are you asking how continental Africans and historical Africans hook up together?
Yes.
The way you're hooking up together is you have to get out of your skin, get out of yourself, and go out to where the people are, whether you're finding them in a church, in a restaurant, at a business meeting. You have to go where the people are so you can get to meet them. Conferences, online events such as this, classrooms, schools, seminars, workshops.
All right, thank you very much. There any more questions? Please, everybody on this platform is free to ask questions and contribute also. All right, thank you very much. Straight away, we are going to have our second speaker. This is Icad Ghana organizing this program, Black History Month. And I want everybody to understand that it is our desire for every African in diaspora who come back to their roots. That is one of our assignments.
As Icad.
We
We
encourage
encourage everyone to come back to their root.
the land is
The
for
land
you.
is for you.
The resources are for you. So you don't have to hesitate. All right.
All right.
Please don't go
Please don't go
anywhere.
anywhere. Don't stand up.
Just
Just
be
be
on your screen.
and
I'm going
I'm going to introduce
another
another
wonderful
wonderful
person
person
to you.
to you.
The person is an ambassador, Global Peace Ambassador, International Organization of Justice, Love and Peace, United Nations,
and
NYAGGI
ambassadors
of the Republic of Nigeria, and then also Group CEO of Imperial Leo Network Limited, and board chairman of Square Love Householdings. And he's in the person of Ambassador Dr. Paul Wachi Ansan. If you are happy to hear his name, just put on a smile. Mr. Paul Wachi Ansan, you are welcome to this program.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be on this platform. Special greetings goes to all the panelists, Professor Dr. Dashanaba, Ambassador Nanayao. I greet you. Thank you so much for making time to join this auspicious online webinar. Thank you so much. I'm privileged to be here, and I feel it's very important that as major stakeholders, we need to discuss on issues on the diaspora that will also contribute to national development in Ghana and more. Thank you so much. I'll go straight to the point. That was a wonderful submission by Professor Dr. Dashanaba. Very insightful. Thank you so much. I'll go straight into what I'll be speaking about today, and that's the role of Ghanaian ambassadors in connecting the diaspora in Ghana. Thank you so much. So I'll just go straight into it. The first thing you should know is that with ambassadors, we are supposed to be a safe haven for migrants in host nations so that they feel at home. They get to feel their country in other countries. Some of the major things that we can do as ambassadors to facilitate that is diplomatic representation role and protection. Ghanaian ambassadors officially represent the government of Ghana in host countries. And some of the things we do is to protect rights and interests of Ghanaian citizens abroad. We also provide consular services that has to do with, for instance, issues on passports, visas, legal assistance, and some legal documentation as well. So as ambassadors, it's our sole responsibility to make sure that migrants out there, citizens of Ghana in host nations, are able to be sorted out when it comes to issues of consular services. And we also engage and host the government on issues affecting Ghanaian migrants in the various host countries. It is our duty as Ghanaian ambassadors to make sure that the government in these host nations are able to know and we are supposed to address them with the issues that some of the Ghanaian citizens out there encounter, so that we'll be able to give solutions to them and help our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. We also ensure that members of the diaspora have institutional support and a direct channel to their home countries. That is our major job, to make sure there's no barrier in between the host country and our country, Ghana. The migrants are able to find that connect. We reduce the barriers from them connecting to Ghana, and then we put measures in place that help facilitate some of these things. one of our major responsibilities is to strengthen cultural identity and heritage, which is very important. Cultural identity and heritage. We promote the cultural heritage through national celebrations and festivals. For example, I know most of us have heard about the Ghana Festival in US of A and some parts of the United Kingdom and other parts of the world. This particular festival ensures that the Ghanaian heritage and culture and our traditions, our values is passed on in these various nations out there, not necessarily in Ghana, but in the UK, in the US, so that second generations and third generations of people that are out there that have not visited their home country before could get a feel of the food we eat, could get a feel of values passed on from one generation to another, and to get that direct touch and feel of their country, Ghana. We also ensure that cultural diplomacy missions worldwide also take place. We facilitate some of these major things. Example is the Year of Return that the government of Ghana implemented some years back, and that actually helped a lot of Ghanaian migrants outside the country reconnect to our nation, Ghana, as a whole. Some of these things encourage people of African descent to reconnect with their roots. And it was a major highlight of the Year of Return that was implemented by the government of Ghana a few years ago. It also helps to promote tourism and heritage visits, which is very important. We all can testify to the fact that there are second and third generation migrants that might have not been or visited our home country, Ghana. And that wouldn't be too good because it creates that disconnect between who they are and what their forefathers did and what their forefathers believed in. But avenues such as the Year of Return and other major cultural diplomacy mission events and forums, summits as well, enables these people to reconnect and to educate themselves about who they really are. Another thing I also talk about is that some of these things promote tourism, heritage visits. It reinforces national identification to the second and third generation Ghanaians abroad as well. It also facilitates trade and investment opportunities, and that actually helps. That actually helps. Thank you so much, Professor Dashinaba. It also helps to also facilitate trade and investment opportunities as well. The diaspora is one of the major contributors to Ghana's economy by far. Some of the things that we can do to also help this initiative of investment is also to, as ambassadors, is also to organize business forums and investment summits. And by doing this, putting out this initiative, it helps bring together investors that might have had barriers of connecting to our nation, Ghana, to invest in the various industries that we have to boost national investment and also boost the nation building of the country. We also connect with, help to connect diaspora entrepreneurs with opportunities in Ghana. We help facilitate B2B, that's business to business and business to government opportunities, such that some of the investors in the diaspora can see very fertile grounds and opportunities for investment and a portfolio, so that they can see the different industries that they could invest in. We also help promote sectors such as real estate, agriculture, tech, tourism, and more in Ghana. By collaborating with institutions like the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GNPC, and other major bodies. It actually helps us streamline investors and the investor processes and reduce barriers for diaspora investment. One of the major things as ambassadors do is also add up to policy advocacy and diaspora inclusion. We communicate diaspora concerns to policymakers, major policymakers that has to do with people both in the public and private sector, to help them know some of these major issues that the diaspora people go through, both solutions and problems, so that we can come up with a consensus to help the policymakers actually implement some of these policies that can also help facilitate nation building of Ghana. We also communicate and support discussions on dual citizenship and voting rights to migrants outside the country. And this helps greatly because most of the migrants out there have major issues concerning voting rights and dual citizenship. So we are ambassadors serve as a safe haven for these migrants out there to have a solution center to receive whatever solutions that they need with whatever problems they have concerning dual citizenship, which is a major issue that most migrants outside encounter. We encourage participation in national development planning and more. And I would love to say that as ambassadors, we serve as strategic connectors between Ghana and its global diaspora. Beyond traditional diplomacy, we promote cultural pride, economic investment, political engagement, and social inclusion. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. These are just but a few submissions that I have in the role of ambassadors and getting them to connect and create policies and forums that can help facilitate the barriers between the host nations and diaspora migrants out there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ambassador Paul. You've done well. Actually, if I listen to it very well, then it means there's a provision for anyone who wants to come down to their home for anything they want to do. There are provisions for visa, for citizenship, anything you want in that area as an ambassador's role. Yeah, he's there for you. And through Icad, all these provisions are there. Through Icad, all these provisions are there. Yeah, and I want to also assure that because I can see in the chat that there are some comments there. And I want everybody to also go to the chat. When you are listening, you can also go there and listen to the chat. Maybe I should read it. Or because of the time also. Go there and read it. What is important there is that going to programs, workshops will connect all of us. Yeah, so let's take note. But before I appreciate the second speaker, I think I have to do justice to the first speaker very well. Our P-mother of the Volta region, Dr. Ella Deshnaba. We thank you very much. We appreciate you for that wonderful speech. And God bless you. We'll keep on contacting you all the time. And we don't want you to leave now. Be around and then also take other questions if somebody asks further questions. And also, we want to appreciate our Ambassador Boachi Ansan, for coming and giving us those assurance for what they can do for our diasporas. Thank you very much for coming, and God bless you. Yeah. This Icad was given to our convener by God. God is the one who instructed him. Yeah, many people can come to Ghana in many ways, but God is specifically instructed him. So if we have a forum like this without a man of God, it's not complete. Therefore, we're going to have our third speaker. Okay. Yeah, we are going to have our third speaker. But before then, we want to open or give opportunity to those who want to ask questions. Yeah, so if you have any question to ask Ambassador Wachi Ansa, why not?
There are a few questions in the chat, Ambassador.
Afternoon.
Yeah, somebody.
My name is Franco Sesiama, and my question to Ambassador Dr. Paul Bwachansa is that during your presentation, you're talking about immigrants. And one thing that I've realized is that our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, when they repatriate to Africa, they are seen as a soft target as compared to the indigenous Africans migrating into Europe and America and other countries, because they have embassies there with ambassadors and high commissioners trying to help them in time of trouble. But Africans, our brothers and sisters from the African and the diaspora, when they travel to Africa, there is no embassy called the African Diaspora Embassy. There's nothing like maybe the CARICOM, maybe the Caribbean Embassy supporting them. All those embassies are for, probably let me say, the American Embassy, the Jamaican Embassy, and all this. When you study diplomacy, you know that these embassies are not in for our people. So my question is, as an ambassador, how can we assure our brothers and sisters who have the intention to repatriate to Africa? Because most of them come in and they fall into the wrong hands. They fall into the wrong hands. So how best can we assure our brothers? You being ambassador, I'm asking this question.
Great, awesome. So this is a very good question. I think on the submission of this,
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Great. Perfect. Perfect. So I think this is a very good question. This is a very important one, because there has been that concern of migrants, African migrants coming to their home nations and not getting a safe haven. My thing is that first of all, we have to redefine that. That has to do with it has to do with the major embassies. If you are a migrant out there and you are coming to Ghana, for instance, you are a Ghanaian migrant and you are coming to Ghana. For example, for the first time, what do you do best? This is what you do. There are a lot of support groups. There are a lot of associations, diaspora associations like Icad and other associations that you can find out from the right people to meet for the right information. That has to do with investment opportunities and your aim down here, where to get the best place to stay, the best land to buy, the best place to invest in agriculture and all that. You need to locate the right people. That's the reason why we ambassadors are there. You need to locate us or locate support groups who can connect you to the right people. Not necessarily that's the migrants being the bait or something in Ghana. But I feel that in any other country, if you also travel there, you might be a bait for other people to exploit you.
You understand? But if you have places that platforms or places like associations, that could be a safe haven of people that are like-minded, of people that are from the same place that you are from. It can help you, you know, or direct your path to whatever you are doing in Ghana. Please, does it answer your question? All right, thank you very much.
Yeah. Is there any question again? I think our queen mother wanted to ask the question.
Yes. Yes, thank you. How does a historical diaspora person get to meet with a person like you, Ambassador, that can guide them in facilitating nation building in Ghana? How do they get to you? How do we know where to find you?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Dashnaba. And please, if I get the question right, how are you able to locate some of the ambassadors?
Like yourself.
Great.
There are ambassadors who are unavailable to you because they're always so busy when you call their office.
Great.
I haven't found that to be with you. So tell me how, I mean, other than me telling the people I know about you, tell me, how do they find you?
Great, perfect. So I think there's a loop, or there's a lag. Let me use the word lag. There's a lag in migrants actually connecting with ambassadors, because most often ambassadors are pretty engaged. So you make one call to an ambassador to pay a courtesy visit to discuss trade and investment opportunities, or what you have up your sleeve to help facilitate nation building and all that. And it can take forever. I think the missing gap here is there are events, there are forums, particular forums, let me use that word, particular forums that as a migrant you should seek out for. For example, if you want to, for example, meet an ambassador in Ghana here, an ambassador of Ghana to, let's say, a country like Suriname, then you should look for forums that has to do with Ghana and Suriname that are out there through the embassy, because you can't just walk into an embassy and say, hey, I'm a migrant, I need to see the ambassador. It doesn't work that way down here.
No,
but when you have these particular forums, you get the opportunity to network with some of these people, and it's pretty open. I've gone to a lot of events down here. Myself, I go to a lot of events, and people that are migrants approach me. It's not a thing of bodyguards all over you that you cannot even walk straight to an ambassador and talk to them. It's a free open zone at some of these forums. So I think the problem here is to find the right platforms to go to be able to engage and encounter to these particular ambassadors that can actually help whatever cause is up your sleeve. Thank you.
And thank you. That does answer the question. So for those of you still tuning in, and thank you for tuning in today to this wonderful forum, this is part of how we make it happen. This is part of how we make it happen.
Yeah.
So those of you who are in the room, go ahead and ask your questions. Ambassador is here.
So any more questions? Because Ambassador is here now to answer your questions. Okay. So, Ambassador Boachi Ansan, thank you very much for coming, and God bless you. I know you'll be available because you used to be busy, but I know you'll be available for our next program next month. I hope so. Well, we are going to have another person And this person is a bishop from Barbados, from Barbados, Bishop of Pentecostal Assemblies of West Indies. And he's here to also add or give us a speech concerning Black History Month celebrations. Yeah, so I will introduce him, and if he's on the line, he should go ahead and give us his speech. He's in the person of Selwyn Brathwaite. Sir, you are welcome, and go ahead and give us your speech.
Oh, well, good morning to everyone. It's really good to be here today. Actually, what I was told is that I was supposed to share with you guys what living in the Caribbean as an African descendant of the transatlantic slave trade meant. So I was supposed to just give you a little bit of my life story and how it shaped me, as a person. So I'm not so sure if there was some miscommunication there, but so that was what I was really asked to speak on. But of course, if we were to look at if we were to look at the whole thing of Black Black History Month within Barbados, I guess I can just talk to you a bit off the top of my head about the significance of that happening within the nation of Barbados. Now, I am not so sure how much you do know about Barbados, but in Barbados, we were really the hub of the African slave trade. Barbados really was what we would consider the very first slave economy. By doing that, it is okay. The economy of Barbados was built basically, on out of this slave trade, right? So we were basically the model for how slavery was supposed to be done. And as a matter of fact, it is in the nation of Barbados where the invention, of what we will call the slave codes. And the slave codes, this was the means by which the plantation owners were able to take control and to ensure that the slaves were in subjection to their masters, right? So basically, out of Barbados, we were the model for slavery, as you would know, and that we were actually called Little England. All right, and so we were really then a reflection, a colony of England. So therefore, England would have used Barbados as the expression, of their colonization of your people. Now that was particularly interesting because then, growing up in Barbados, we were basically robbed of our history as a people. Now, I can remember out of my own life experience, while I am Barbadian, I was basically born in England. So my parents, they are Barbadian, but then in seeking some kind of economic freedom, they went over to England, and there they worked, and over there was where I was born. Now the difficulty of that is, here I am, a colored man living in a white environment, and everything around me doesn't look like me, even though this is the place where I was born. And I can remember the time I spent there, just 7 years of my childhood there. It was really spent, and I was the victim of racial slurs. I remember getting into a small confrontation with another student, and as a result of that, I was paraded. I was paraded, around the school, and given the name of a villain, right? So, and then we were surrounded by this culture that really wasn't cordial to us. So I struggled in that environment. As a matter of fact, after my parents spent some time there in England, because of the rise in the harassment, we then had to come back home to Barbados. All right. So here I am. I am more so now in a cultural dilemma, in that I am too British to be Barbadian, and then I am Barbadian, but I carry British in me. So I find myself in this struggle. And so I came back to Barbados, thinking now, well, at least I am in an environment that's conducive. But the problem there was my accent. So therefore, even though I was black, I spoke like a British. So then, as a result, here I became now the center of ridicule. Right? So immediately I then had to drop my British accent and try to assimilate into that kind of environment. So it was tough for me living, going through my primary school years. I then went into my secondary school, and it is interesting there that my secondary school, it was a school that was designed for white boarders, right? So there was a boarding school, and what this boarding school did, it was designed so that the elite within the white folk within Barbados, and within the region, they were allowed special privileges to come into that space where they got their education, and they got special privileges. And so therefore there was this structure that gave that sense of supremacy. So here we are then in this school that was supported and that was founded or established or bequested by a slave trader. And here we are in this environment, and we are schooled in grammar. We were schooled in things like Latin and English, and we were trained to be gentlemen. All right? And so we were supposed now to adopt the behavior, of the colonizers. And we saw then that there was this loss of identity. Not only was it reflected there in our education, but also then in our religion. Of course, we know then that Barbados was strictly Anglican, right? And we know and as I said before, we know the influence that the English had on Barbados. So even our concept of understanding who God really is, it was birthed out of the colonization. So then everything was painted within the Caucasians, our understanding and our concept of who God is. Right? It was colored by the colonizers. So therefore, we still did not have a real understanding. Even though we were trained in ethics, we still didn't have a sense of identity. And that is how most of us have been influenced in our education and in our religion. Now, just a few years ago, Barbados became a republic. Our prime minister felt the need that we have to be emancipated from our colonial past and form a new identity where we will now be in search of our roots as a people. Because as the saying goes, if you don't know your history, you don't have an identity. And if you don't have an identity, you can never be free. So while we would have been happy in getting independence from England just over 60 years now, and yeah, but in 1966, right? But we wanted more than that. We now wanted to be a republic where now we can be responsible to charter our own future, to charter our own destiny, and to be able to embrace a lot more of our culture. So we have since this time we've gone through a period now where, like for instance, we're in Barbados, where we had Trafalgar Square, where there was the statue of Lord Nelson. We took a political decision as a nation to move that statue there, and now to put our own heroes there who would have charted the way forward, for Barbados. So now we have our National Hero Square there, and we now have Freedom Park, where we have now we have the inscriptions of all of those people who would have made contributions to our nation and form the foundation, of our nation by their contributions. So therefore, we are now going through a cultural evolution, where now we are connecting back to our heritage. Now, I know that even for the church, that has become a difficult conversation for some of us because of how we were colonized. So we were kind of taught, hey, well, let's not talk about slavery. There's a thinking among some, that, oh, we are not really Africans, so why should we go back to our roots? And there has been this contention, especially within the Christian community, that this is not necessary. But then when we remember that the Israelites, if there's one thing, they were in slavery, if there's one thing that God said to them, you must remember your history. Don't forget where you come from, because your history is a part of your identity. And so now we are not here, and as we celebrate Black History Month, we are not here basically to try to erase our history. We can't erase it. We can't deny it. We have to embrace it, because in spite of our tough past, we have overcome. Okay, we have made it. And we are still surging forward. And now we see the landscape of our nation is actually changing, and we are seeing now that many, even in our schools now, we are beginning now to embrace a bit more of our culture, and we are holding on to some of the cultural traditions, and so we embracing now our music. And one of the things that has become very important within our nation, we are actually beginning now to teach a lot more about Black history, right? So we are able to identify as a people. And I think, this is so critical for us that we in Barbados, connect back to our people in Africa, because now the same sea that actually divided us is the same sea going to come back over now to bring us together, as a people. I think it is important that we reunite, because still we have to deal with this. We have to heal from the trauma, and those of us, especially within the body of Christ, now we still have the ministry of reconciliation. So these are factors that will shape us, and as a result of the direction that our nation is now going, I can see the healing taking place, and we feel a sense of identity now, because there now is a decision. It is a decision now for us to connect with our past, because when we connect with our past, we connect with who we are, and then we are able to march forward together in the future. So while we are able to celebrate the fact that we are born again Christians, greater than that, also we can connect with the fact of our heritage. One of the things that has challenged my life in a real sense, especially as it relates to the scripture, because what may happen is to in the Christian context, because of our history of slavery, Christianity has been marketed to us as the white man's religion. But now, because of our access to information, we now know that even long before the Europeans had a grasp of Christianity, that the foundation of our Christian roots is found right back in Africa. So while some of us are going back to Africa to find some other things relating to our cultural heritage, even when Christians go back and they do the discovery, we would realize, okay, that right in our African history, we can find our Christianity. So therefore, and what Black History Month has done for us, even in Barbados, is that we are able to find ourselves in the Bible. And I think even that in itself is critical to us as a people. So the Black History Month really has a lot of remedial structure that can help us to become a better people and to be stronger. So, as I said, it was not my it was not let me say it was not my intention to share on the Black History Month, but I just realized that there was some kind of miscommunication. So I'm just here to give you an overview, and I hope that something I said was able to be of some help to you in my presentation. Thank you.
If I did not hear anything at all, you said something. You said, if you don't have identity, you can never be free. And thank God now, God has restored the identity. And we thank God for that. Now identity has been restored. They have been connected to your heritage, and everybody can come back to where they belong. We thank God for that. To move us further, I hope all of us have listened to Bishop. So if you have any questions, and as I'm waiting to take the questions, I want to acknowledge the presence of Madam Erin Ekuya Poch. And you are welcome, Madam. And also Ambassador Nanayo Kwachi. Thank you for coming. If you're on the line, don't go anywhere. These two people are going to give us another speech. And it will be very wonderful. I think we have only two to go. Yeah, so I'm back for the questions. So ask your questions if you really listen to our bishop. Hello. We are waiting for the questions. If you have any question.
Okay. Bishop, my question is very simple. My question is, being in Barbados, how was the transatlantic slave trade story narrated to you people, and how do you feel about Africa?
Let me say, well, first of all, this whole thing now about our history is now emerging, right? Because we would have gone through our whole school life and knew nothing about our history as a people. All the history we knew was British history. As a matter of fact, even in our Bible schools, right? We go through our Bible schools, and as a Caribbean people, there is no mention, okay, of our identity in history. All right. So now with this shift in our climate, we are not asking questions. We want to know more. And to answer the question, there's this desire to know more about our mother country, because we feel now a sense of identity. And our prime minister is really doing a fantastic job in trying to connect Barbados, okay, back to its African roots. So with now this access to communication, we are now asking lots and lots of questions because we want to identify and connect with our African heritage.
Okay, Bishop, thank you very much. I'm so happy to hear that there's so much desire to know much about our history. And thank God we have our History Month all the time. And history is to guide us, to give us hope. So we thank God for that. And I know from now, many things will be unfolding. We thank you very much. Bishop, thank you very much for your speech. And God bless you.
Thank you.
One day we're going to visit you in Barbados. Thank you very
I'll
much.
be happy.
We are
Thank
so grateful. All right. So we are going further to call upon our madam, one of the wonderful. Call upon one of our speakers who has been waiting to give us a wonderful speech, and is in the person of Ambassador Nanayao. Ambassador, if on the line, can you please give us your speech?
No, we can't hear you. You have to unmute. You have to unmute. Are they doing anything? So do it from there.
All right. I guess I'm okay now.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay, so let me take this opportunity to greet all our great speakers that have spoken before me, and more especially to our chair, that's Bishop Dr. Aban, the convener. Very special greetings also to Ambassador Dr. Ella Dashamaba King, and also my very brother, Dr. Boachiansa, for having, empowered us with their presentations. And one of the things that I want to begin with, and taking a cue and a flower from Dr. Ella, who said, the first African diasporans were forced or entered into a forced journey. But this time around, at this present dispensation, it's going to be an intentional journey. All right. And I really love that bit of the intentionality of the journey this time around, whereby the clarion call on the continent, and more especially from Ghana, is the fact that the continent wants back its sons and daughters. Come back. Let's empower each other. Let's grow our continents. Let's grow our respective countries, because Africa is a great and a special continent. All right. Having said this, all right, I'm looking at the economic integration of the African diaspora back to the motherland, back to Ghana, back to Africa. The best way for diasporans to integrate economically in Ghana is to see themselves not as visitors, but as partners in nation and continental building. The diaspora integration in Africa is Africa's bridge to global opportunity. So that integration of the diasporan community is Africa's bridge to global opportunity. Each investment, each skill shared, each knowledge shared is a step towards collective empowerment. It's a step towards collective empowerment. All right. We are at a point of our dispensation as a continent, as a people, all right, that as much as one of the worst sins and atrocities to humanity was the slave trade, years on, it is time to turn the misfortune into an opportunity. It is time to kickstart Africans' economic renaissance with that skill set that has been gotten from the diaspora. That rich experiences that they have learned from their American and European countries, whereby they have been leaders in every field. The African diaspora has been a leader in so many fields. Let's look at just a few years ago, where Barack Obama was the president of the US of A. Let's look at all the African Americans who has blazed the trail in sports, blazed the trail in politics and what have you. It is time for these expertise to be brought on the continent to benefit where they were deprived. So as they are bringing their expertise to Ghana to help Ghana's economy, again, it strengthens the diaspora's sense of belonging and impact. It strengthens the diaspora's sense of belonging and impact. They have an identity, they have a home in Africa. The diasporans are not lost, they are Africans. And this is their place of pride. And they come back not as visitors. They come back to their rightful homes. And let me waver in this clarion call that also indigenous African Ghanaians who are living on the continent, who are living in the motherland, should come to the realization that the African diaspora is a partner for growth. It's a partner that you cannot take out of the equation. Remittances from the African diaspora is like 4.5 billion annually. Almost about 90 plus billion on the continent. Contributing so much to GDP. All right. So it is not even like something that has to be contended or thought, oh, do we need the African diaspora? They have left. So it's not like we need them. They are part of us. So that sense of responsibility should then be on every African diaspora to get back to economically impact the continent. All right, to get back and economically impact the continent. Combining investment, skills transfer, supportive policies, cultural connection, all right, innovation to the continent. You know, let me waver in this on the how the African diaspora can integrate economically. You know, I am looking at zeroing in on Ghana. I'm looking at where has been our most competitive foreign exchange and all that. Ghana has been very dependent on its natural resources for foreign exchange. Recently, when the country discovered oil some years back, all right, that has helped boost the economy. Things like the cocoa sector and some other mineral sectors. I am calling on the African diaspora who have gained so much knowledge. I'm not putting investments ahead of even the knowledge skill or the knowledge acquired. Acquired so much knowledge with the skill sets to come back and invest in these areas that keeps the economy. Add their knowledge. Currently, Ghana is facing crisis in our cocoa sector. We need original ideas. We are talking about value addition, adding value to our cocoa sector, making sure that what has always been the backbone of the nation will continue to be the backbone of the nation. Where does the African diaspora, what role do they play? I'm looking at a more intentional role in this sector. Yes, we all know that most of the African diaspora has come back to invest in tourism. Beautiful. To invest in, agribusiness. Beautiful. To invest to an extent in education. But also, I want to challenge them that areas that we strive so much, and even looking into some others that are very new areas, but we can be able to rake so much to help sustain and augment our economy. All right. So it is no brainer. We are hoping that the African diaspora diversify. All right. Let's go out of our comfort zone. Yes, hospitality industry is great. majority of them, but also explore other areas that can help the economy to a very great extent. All right. So the best ways that the diasporan can integrate economically in Ghana. All right. So we are looking at investments, we are looking at entrepreneurship. There are beautiful opportunities on the continent. The continent is growing. We Ghana is blessed. Let's look at this. What do you call it? A year of return and beyond. The return and all that. Beautiful initiatives that are boosting tourism, boosting the entertainment sector, and what have you. But there is so much opportunities when we zero in just our country, Ghana. Pride with hospitality, peace, serenity. African diasporans should be free-minded to come back. I know there are stereotypes. All right, some locals, some indigenous. All right, you get back, and before you realize you've been swindled, things have happened. Okay, but these are the excesses. These are the excesses. The African diaspora, or the continent, and Ghana for that matter, it's a fertile ground that is waiting for his sons and daughters to come back, or wherever they are, make sure that they invest in the economies of these African states. All right. And it's not like they definitely have to because they are Africans or they are Ghanaians for that matter, but it's a fertile ground for good business. And more importantly, as I began, I said the skills and the knowledge transfer. Posterity has behoved on you, the African American, African diaspora, all right, has behoved on you that opportunity of different cultures to learn and become that knowledge bank that the continent needs now. Things that possibly we cannot do on our own, you have been able to learn from different territories, from different continents, all right, that has been assumed to be the best. Please come back and share the skill set and knowledge. Let's transfer it into our educational sector. Let's transfer it in agriculture. Let's transfer it in our natural resources. Let's add value to our products and be able to get so much from whatever we produce here. And we believe, all right, policy and institutions have said it already. Great policy about the year of return in 2019, all right, beyond the return that followed a year after. Okay, but what is the long-term economic policy? What are we looking at? Now, when you roam social media, sometimes you will see a lot of the African diasporans. Let me even use recently that Actual Speed came to Ghana and other African countries. All right, look at how the narrative changed. African diaspora helped to change the narrative. The continent is beautiful. All right. There has been a stereotype before. You might have been brainwashed. When we listened to our bishop, he was never even told about Africa. He grew in Barbados, where, he grew up, and it was all about there. All right, but not their roots. Okay, so this is the time whereby that pride of place, we come back with confidence, and I do my heart out for the organizers, Icad, for this platform. Community and cultural integration. Community and cultural integration. Economic integration is strengthened when diaspora members feel culturally connected. Participation in local festivals, participation in other things. Let's come back and re-immerse ourselves in our culture. Let's come back and re-immerse ourselves in our culture. That is what we need at this point. All right. Infrastructure development, and the digital platform. Now we are in the digital age. We are at a time whereby the world has gone digital. Africa needs to catch up. Africa needs not to be behind. Ghana needs to catch up. All right. It shouldn't, and the African diaspora has so much experiences and knowledge that has been gotten from out and can come back to input in our infrastructure and digital platforms. Okay. So in essence, the best way for diasporans to integrate economically, Ghana, even as I answer, is through a holistic approach, combining investment, skills transfer, supportive policy. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. So,
hello, sir.
I think your speech is so hot that people would like to ask questions. So, if you can run up for us so that we open the opportunity, give the opportunity for questions.
All right. So, I think finally what I'll say is that we have a beautiful continent.
Yeah.
And as much as we would belabor the point of African diasporans going several decades ago in the trans-African slave trade, something that we are looking at things like repatriation and compensation that our president, His Excellency John Mahama recently even made that point very strongly at the AU. Yes, even as we look at ways by which we can put some policies in place for this not to happen. Economically, Africa is the best place to invest. Africa is the new world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Africa is the best place to invest. Africa is the best place for you, and it's your home. You can see the energy, the power behind the speech, that is welcoming everyone to come back, encouraging everyone to come back. Africa is our home. It's our heritage. Thank you very much, Ambassador Nanayao Kwachi Wedu. Yeah, before I take questions, please prepare your questions. Before I take your questions, I forgot I couldn't do something. And I want you to know this man very well. Yeah, he's an ambassador, Goodwill Ambassador, Dream Child Foundation, board member, International Youth Network for United Nations Security Council Resolution 2250, board chairman, Models Union of Ghana, lead Center for Africa Studies, Leadership and Research, Northford University, and then Group CEO, Edu Enter Group Ghana. Yeah, he's the one talking to us. So you can see how he's coming, how he presented his speech also. So if you have any question, please, he's waiting to answer our questions. If you have questions, I can see Cynthia Kuto, Lady Erin, or Erin Love, Anna Mo, then our Madam, the Queen Mother, also is here. Sad Winston also is here. Please, you can ask your questions and let's move on. Yeah. So thank you very much, Ambassador Nanaya Kwachi Wedu. Yeah, thank you for coming and thank you for your speech. In fact, it's so touching. So thank you very much. Yeah, we're going to take our next speaker, and I want to take the opportunity to say the convener of Icad says he greets everybody and he thanks you for coming and he really appreciates your presence. God bless you. So we are going to take the next speaker's speech. And she's a wonderful woman who lived in DC, in the United States. And she's Erin Porch, aka Erin Love. Yes. He's the CEO, founder and CEO of Global Works Consulting Groups, USA, founder of Radically Rich Innovation Hub, Ghana, licensed real estate broker and investor portfolio manager. Madam Erin Porch Equia, you are welcome to the platform or in this program. Speak to us. Hello.
Good afternoon, good morning, everyone in your respective places. Thank you all so much for hosting this space. I really appreciate the opportunity to be a part for everyone that has gone before me. I identify with so many of the sentiments that have been shared and am honored to be a part of this conversation today. I'm not here to visit history. Truly, I'm here to continue history, just as all of us are. Black history it's not just a month. I believe that it's truly a movement, and it's a memory, and it's also a mandate. As we have heard that, it's important that we understand our identity and our role and our parts in understanding our history, but also contributing to creating history. I find myself often among many history makers and game changers all across the world, and we all have a role in that respect. So again, I am truly, truly honored to be here amongst you all. And today is more than just a remembrance. It's about a return. And it's a return to identity. It's a return to ownership. It's a return to our economic power and the responsibilities that we are to carry out. And so in our right to return, I believe it is not just physical. It has spiritual aspects. It also has economical aspects and intellectual aspects. The intellectual aspect is vitally important that we know and understand that we are assets and that we carry intellectual property. And our name should be applied to all that we create and influence and innovate all across the world. Many of us were displaced through history. And I, as it was mentioned by Reverend, that I was born and raised in the U.S. and I found my way back home to Ghana. And that was about 3 years ago. And truly, from the moment I stepped foot, I felt grounded. I felt connected. My senses were activated on a cellular realm, on a cellular level. And I began to experience sentiments of healing that I had been seeking, longing for, and looking for. And so, as a part of just my family narrative, I believe that I was sent back home to pave the way, to help the rest of us to come back home. And, we've been repositioned through strategy. And that returning, it really means reclaiming the narrative and rebuilding the infrastructure and redirecting the capital that we have been able to earn the capital that we've had access to as we were, in other countries, such as America, the UK, wherever we were in the diaspora, and reconnecting to our families. I been back in Ghana for about 3 years now, and truly it has been the best decision that I could ever make to raise my son in this environment. And in that, we have been intentional about reinvesting and bringing our experiences back. I served in the federal government and I've worked on all levels. And so I found so many opportunities and identified so many gaps where I was able to help accelerate and advance some of the growth in technology, in real estate, in development, here in Ghana. And I believe we all, when we come back home, we align with the purposes and the areas where we are to contribute. And I just believe that we are, only diaspora to the world, but truly a force. And what I believe is that when we think about how do we return with the systems that we've been accustomed to, the systems that we've worked in, it's not just necessarily about the emotional side of it, but certainly understanding the existing systems, the existing structure, and the existing culture, and respecting it as such, and meeting people where they are. And from there, being able to pour in and enhance the growth and the expansion, and be able to take things to the next level. I celebrate Black history, and I look at it as a conversation where we evolve, looking at the future, because we not only celebrate the ancestors, but we celebrate those that are creating history, those that are contributing to changing the narratives and notions, those that are contributing to uncovering some truths that were hidden from us, right? And those groundbreaking and game-changing discoveries are to be honored and to be respected. So I really believe that we shift from the remittance to investments, and also from the consumption. We consume so much, and there's so much information out here that we forget to take ownership. We consume, and we continue to move forward. And I believe that owning the result of what we have consumed and what we actually produce is something that we must take seriously, and that is that intellectual property component that I spoke about earlier. Coming back home, I learned quickly that Africa is rich, Africa is wealthy, and it doesn't need charity at all. It just needs partnership. It needs partnership from those that have been exposed to other parts of the world, other systems, other practices and principles, to come and add value and enhance where things are and where they aspire to grow to. And I just really believe that the diaspora doesn't necessarily need the entry points, but there are entry points that require clear legal frameworks. And when we think about the land acquisition transparency and the vehicles for diasporas to invest in some policy, there's a great deal of work to be done there. But in that, I believe that we have an opportunity to work with the youth and equip and empower the youth to help contribute. I believe when we bring the youth into the conversation coupled with the elders, we're able to accelerate and move faster and better. As I mentioned, I've worked across the government for over 20 years. And what I know is that policy follows organized capital, and the opportunity follows prepared people. And so it's our responsibility to help to prepare others.
All
and
right.
if we a sustainable right to return. We must formalize it, finance it.
All right.
and be-
Yeah. So maybe you line up for us so that we can ask some questions.
Sure. And thank you so much for having me.
So you run up for us, yes.
I'm sorry?
Say you round up.
Okay, that's fine. We can end it there.
So that we can ask some questions.
Okay, sure. I'm open for the questions.
All right. So if anyone has a question, please, can you ask? She said something. He said, coming back to my home is the best decision I've made. You know, and he also see herself as to come and pave a way for others to come. So you can ask more questions right now because of our time. Does someone have questions to ask? All right, so you can, if you still want to run up, just run up. So we're still waiting for the questions. I want to bring it to your notice that Icad, we have many platforms that every diaspora can come to Ghana safely and then explore what you want to do. Yeah, we host business forums, conferences, and we network. We create also networking events, facilitate partnership and investment opportunities, promote culture and exchange and heritage preservations. So I want you to be aware. You know, all the speakers talk about investment and all that, and this is what we stand for. So if we want to know more about this and you want to come back to your roots, you can go through Icad. Now, I want to read to you a short message from our convener, the convener of Icad. Yeah. He said, African unity must transcend geographically, ethically, language, and religion. The Apostle Paul teaches us there is one body and one spirit and one Lord and one faith and one baptism. Likewise, Africa must see herself as one people with one destiny. Fellow diasporans, the future of Africa will not be written by outsiders. It will be written by Africans on the continent in the diasporas, working together in unity. So this is what our convener is saying, that we must be one. In all that we are saying, those who are here, the indigents, and then those, the diasporans who are coming, we are one people. So we must unite in the development of our nation. Everyone outside there, Ghana is your home. Africa is your home. Come and develop it. You develop it for your descendants, not even for anybody, for your own generations that will come in the future. Whilst you are not there, may the Lord bless you. So, thank you very much, Madam Erin Love. We thank you very much for all that you have said. And also thank you for coming. We appreciate every speaker from Dr. Ella Dashnaba, the Queen Mother of Keta Glimmer, Achiavi Glimmer. Yeah, we thank you very much for coming. We also thank you
for the invitation.
Ambassador Handsome Wachi Ansan. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate you. Our convener, Bishop Aban, said thank you very much for coming. Yeah. Also, Ambassador Also, Ambassador Nanaya Kwache Boedu. Thank you very much for coming. Your message has gone far, and I know your coming will not be in vain. Also, we have our bishop from Barbados, Selwyn Bradway. Thank you very much for speaking to us. May the Lord bless you. Before I leave you, I want you to know that we are going to have a business forum in March. Business forum in March. So look out for the program. Is to still be online. And we are going to talk about business in Ghana and in Africa. And business personalities are going to be on the line that day, and we can ask your questions. Thank you very much. Also, we are going to have a wonderful business forum, but not online, in June. And great men in business are going to be there. So take note, we are going to reach you with that. We also want to build a community on WhatsApp. Therefore, we are going to put up a WhatsApp group of all the contacts we have today, so that we can discuss more things. And you can also continue to ask your questions. Thank you very much also for that. And lastly, we are going to have our convention at the end of the year. And this convention is annually. And we advise all the diasporans who have been on the line and those who are going to hear about us through those who came to the line to come in December, I think from 18th to 20th. And it will be a very great time. Thank you very much. God bless you for everyone who connected, and may the Lord bless you. Thank you very much. My name is Reverend Samuel Awume, Icad Secretariat. And I'm here with my head of programs, Dr. Frank Esiama is also here. He has been supporting the program, and he asked more questions also. We also have another wonderful personality here called Nana Amo. Thank you all for supporting this program. We come to a reality. May the Lord bless you. Amen.